Hey, good morning, friends. Mark Holmes here with
Mike Lampy, Fitness.
and my cousin Daniel.
Redskin fan.
Whew. I don't know. Have you heard the news
What?
about Trent Williams, who still says I ain't ever coming back?
I don't blame him.
Adam Schefter is reporting that 3 teams are interested in trading for him, including New England. The Redskins say we ain't trading him. What are your thoughts on that?
Hey, he got his convictions, man. He felt medical staff ain't doing right. Fuck, I wouldn't play
he
that
had-
either.
here-
It's my life.
With the back of his head.
Right, he had like a tumor on the back of his head, and he
And then-
said that the training staff wasn't exactly honest with him about him, and he does not trust them.
I don't blame him on
Yeah,
that.
but if you're not trusted, that's the training staff, man. You got your own doctor.
You know what? I hate to say this, but there's a YouTube channel called Vice Sports, and you're seeing some of these former players like Marcellus Wiley, who talked about, he coming off a broken ankle and stuff, and at pretty much every game, he's getting shot up with Tanadol or something like that. And then there's a guy, Kyle Turley, I saw this one last night, who is in his 30s, and he's got shakes and things like that. He's talking about when they would take him into the locker room and stuff. He said, they would come through and just give you a shot in the hip and stuff. He said, basically, you're out there just playing numb. He said, you're there trusting this medical staff, thinking that they're looking out for your best interest. The only thing they're doing is trying to bandage you up to make sure you can get out there.
So we can get a win.
We're not caring about you down the road. And when you know that these guys are having all these problems and it's just like they're forgotten, I can understand where he's looking at saying, hey,
Yeah, I got life after football.
I got life after football, and I got this tumor on the back of my head, and they're not diagnosing it. I could have had cancer, and and all they care about is, can you play next week? So I can kind of understand that with his livelihood and stuff. Now, here's what's interesting was they were talking to Adrian Peterson about how the team is functioning without him, and if they thought he would come back. And he basically said, well, it wouldn't surprise me if he doesn't, and it wouldn't surprise me if he does. But he said, I don't think he's coming back. He said, but it's changing everything with the team. He said he thinks that it's hurting the development of our quarterback because now you're worried about guys coming off the edge.
Hell yeah.
And he said, basically, you got to say it definitely. If you're worried about getting hit over here, you're not thinking about the plays.
This is my life.
And that is, I hate to say it, that is the blind side, which became famous because of Joe Theismann.
Yeah, no,
Because it was
Taylor.
right. Well, Joe
Lawrence
Theismann
Taylor.
getting his blindsided by Lawrence Taylor, and you know what? That's one thing that you want to have is you want to tackle.
Yeah.
And Trent Williams, as much as I hate the Redskins, he is one of the best ones out there when he's healthy.
He's a beast.
Yeah.
He's a beast.
So if you're the Redskins, what do you do?
Okay, you got to fish. You got to find somebody else. You can't wait on him.
They did get Donald Penn, but he's got to get in shape. And it was funny listening to Doc Walker because Doc Walker is basically like, well, look, if some of the other guys play well, then great. Then that gives you a little bit, you basically can say, okay, we can say bye-bye. But if those guys don't, then you don't have any kind of leverage. And so far what I've seen is not much.
Yeah, Donald Penn's, when he's in shape, he's a bad boy now. He ain't
Trent Williams.
He ain't Trent Williams, but, Trent Williams might be a 10. Donald Penn might be 9 1/4, but that boy's he got attitude.
Well, I'm gonna ask you something else because you definitely know about not having a quarterback because you guys have been through since Mark Rippon. You've been through so many damn quarterbacks and stuff. We got what was supposedly leaked was that Dak Prescott wanted $40 million, which exactly. Let's be real. Anybody who has a mind knows that Dak knows he's not going to get $40 million. But it's...
not necessarily, though. But see, people making a big concern out of it because it's Dak Prescott.
Yeah.
It's the position.
I was actually...
That's the going market. Hell, they paid that boy Philadelphia $32 million.
Right.
He ain't played but one season.
Here's the thing that was interesting because I was sitting here watching one of the talking shows yesterday, and Mangini was talking about Wentz and saying, he only had 1 out of 3 winning seasons, and he's had issues staying healthy on the field and stuff. And it was funny because the way that the commentators were basically, oh, well, you can throw out the rookie year. Why are you throwing out the
Why?
rookie? Because he was a rookie. And Majidi was like, he started
healthy.
out on fire and then he slumped.
Yeah.
And then of course, well, he was on an MVP tear until he got hurt. He was great, but he's like, yeah, he got hurt.
Wasn't he
Staying,
hurt? and banged
staying
up
on the
in college?
field. And he's like, and last year he said he had a losing record. And they kept making excuses for him and stuff. Because the whole thing was, well, they've retooled the offense now. They've got a deep threat in Deshaun Jackson. They went ahead and they had 3 players that they drafted in the first 2 rounds for the offense. So you know where I'm going with this, right? So wait a minute. Didn't they say if you're a great quarterback that you elevate the team? But now they're talking about surrounding him with people around him, right?
So what does that say about him? He ain't doo-doo.
That's my point in all. And Philly 500 keeps talking about the North Dakota assassin, and that we're scared of him. I'm not scared of him. I'm just pointing out that it's totally different. Because here it is.
Philly 500 right about what do you call him? North
Dakota assassin?
The assassin is his body.
Oh,
Damn. His body gonna let him down.
I like that.
3 years in the pros. He only played 1. He was broke up in college too.
Well, and here's the other thing.
You gotta go with his history, his track
but
record.
see, Philly thinks that he's talking about him because he's scared of him. No, I wasn't talking about about Carson Wentz because I fear for him. I was trying to point out the difference because here's what was funny. It was last night in my live stream. I pulled up a clip from when Kirk Cousins signed with Minnesota and how they talked about how great a move this was, for Kirk Cousins and for the team. And it's like, when we talk about Dak getting paid, we talk about, it's going to screw up the team or he doesn't deserve that. He should jump at $30 million. They didn't talk about Minnesota if they signed Kirk Cousins for what was the top pay in the NFL, that was going to hurt them. Oh, actually, they did. They said, well, this year it's great. The following year, they got a lot of players that are going to have coming up for contracts and everything else, and they can deal with that later. And I'm like, you got a totally different answer when it comes to Dak Prescott versus everybody else. You know what I'm saying? They're saying, it's okay. They'll be able to work that stuff out. You're going to hamstring the team if you can't pay Dak because then you can't pay. And the other thing, you've got to have people around Dak to be successful.
You got to have people around any quarterback to be successful.
My thing would be okay, if that is the case, then why don't you just go ahead and say, we're going to give Green Bay, we're going to give you $50 million a year for Aaron Rodgers. And you and I can play on the offensive line for him. Because that's the premise that you get from these people. He doesn't have to have talent around him. Michael, you can be a wide receiver.
That depends
thank you.
on who they're talking about. That depends on who they're talking about. I'm not saying nothing.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people,
there's 2 of them
that
drive me crazy. Jabba the Hutt, Jason Whitlock.
That's the fat dude.
Yeah.
He was a comedian.
Him and Rob Parker. No way, no how am I paying Dak Prescott $30 million. If the Cowboys offered him $30 million, I should cut my finger off and I'll put an X in blood to make sure I get out of there with that contract. And wait a minute, it's like, hold
up.
up.
See, he's getting paid to be negative towards him. That's his job.
I'm sorry, he looks like a fucking idiot. Okay.
I mean, he gets paid to be to say that stuff.
I don't know what it is, but I'm telling you, he drives me up the wall.
You gotta be a realist. All if you look at it, 80% of them quarterbacks are overpaid. I don't.
Well,
care
it's the nature of the position.
You paying for the position, but the problem is you got this young man quarterbacking of America's team, which I don't like. To hell with the Cowboys. But they said all these things about him. Yeah, you turn that around, you get the same thing. All the things about him. Now I wonder if they had a different quarterback with the same stats as Dak, would they be saying anything? Would they be saying he's below average? He can't do this. But the young man in high school, young man in college, what did he do? He won.
Well, yeah, but see, and let's go back to Kirk Cousins here, because If you
cousin,
no,
he overpaid. He
Oh,
got
I agree.
he got a lot of stats.
But wait. His career average. Hold on. Okay, he was the highest paid, and he got the first fully guaranteed contract. Okay, and we were talking about career averages of 18 TDs, 9 interceptions, like 63, I think, or no, 61% completion percentage, and a losing record. He right now is 34 and 37, and nobody said jack about him at all.
That's the point. That's the point that we saying. And I don't, I don't always want to, because there's enough hate going around this country today as it is.
You got that right.
But it's this. You call it what it is. It's all this. Anybody look at it any different, they blind.
Polo shirt?
They blind.
It's all
the color of the polo shirt.
Oh, okay. But again,
blind.
Those same people that were saying, well, throw out Carson Wentz's rookie year and stuff like that.
Why?
Then they're saying, oh, well, you can't count that Dak has the second most. You can't count Dak Prescott having the second most victories. You got to throw that out because he's got Zeke Elliott.
But doesn't that dude have more interceptions than
in less games than Dak?
And he played less games.
In less games, yeah.
So
what the
HEAA are they saying?
No, because
but what are they saying?
About that? Oh, that's because he takes chances out there because he's forcing the ball down the field. So that's okay.
So he's saying, that's okay. They comparing him to Brett Favre.
Oh yeah, that's what they're saying. That's the thing. They make excuses for anything that happens with Carson. If it's positive, oh yeah, he's got a head and shoulders above that. Oh well, you can't count that because he was coming back from injury. Okay, he had a bad back. He was hurt. Oh well, he didn't finish the season. So it's kind of like, okay, I get that. So if you're gonna go ahead and make up for him, then why are you gonna count it against Dak Prescott?
Because they don't want a level playing field.
And Rob Parker's thing is always saying 55 NFL executives say he's a third-tier quarterback. Yeah, well, you know what? 55 of those executives also said that Paxton Lynch was a good quarterback.
Well,
right? And said that he was much better than Dak Prescott.
55% of them.
55, not percentage. 55 NFL GMs and personnel.
So what they say about Tom Brady? They drafted that some gun in the 7th round. So what that mean?
Yeah, so it just is what it is. But anyway.
That's exactly what it is. Some BS.
That's right. So.
As long as you don't have a good game against the Skins, I don't care.
We'll find out week 2.
This is funny. Now I know my wife watches my videos and things too, so I have to be careful what I say and things. But it's funny because he just showed me a picture. He said, "Can you build this?" And it's a dresser that's got like a door in it so you can hang clothes and stuff. And I was like, yeah. I said, is that for your daughter or for your wife? He said, no, it's for me, damn it. I said, what do you mean it's for you? Look, so when we did the basement, we built a big walk-in closet. His wife went from having a small closet to a big walk-in closet. Tons of shelves and all. I'm like, well, aren't you sharing? He's like, look, I got one suit in there.
Got a suit, pair of shoes, my dress
shoes.
That's it.
That's all. It no closet.
That's it.
No closet. It's like, yeah, I feel you, bro, because I took Michael's old room and made that into a closet, and my space is only like 3 feet wide.
But I love you, baby. You can have a whole closet.
Oh, I love you too, but
I love you.
These are man problems, and one day, Michael, you gonna have these problems too.
If you're lucky.
Because all them wives are crazy.
Yeah,
we love them now. We love them, but they crazy. I'm Mark Holmes, and on to the next stop. I'll see you guys soon, and remember,
as long as I'm my man cave, I'm good.
Not as bad as the Cowboys.
As long as I'm my man cave, I'm good.
Well, at least we love our quarterback.
I get to. Okay.
At least we love our quarterback.
I love you, honey. I love you to death. But every time she comes downstairs in the man cave, I can see the look around.
I don't blame you. I'd want all that cowboy shit out of there too.
There's too much stuff on here.
Bringing the property value down.
You should see some walls in here someplace. I'm like, all this stuff is meaningful to me.
It's bringing the property value down. That cowboy stuff bring the property value down.
You're right. There is that Redskin helmet that's in there.
That's the only good thing you got down in there. And he holding his head like, oh man, I'm surrounded by all this cowboy.
He's embarrassed about being a Redskin fan. I can't wait till we have games. All right, I'll catch you guys later.